You're here live with Coach Lew at Accelerate Life University, your #1 source for self-education success. XLR8life.com. Hey guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lew. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8life.com. Coach Lew will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lew. Here's Coach Lew.
What's up, guys? Good morning. Awesome Monday morning. It is Labor Day, guys. And today's show is actually last week's show. So let me tell you a little story real quick here. We went on vacation for a couple of weeks. Absolutely amazing. I suggest everybody does it. It is, something we haven't done in quite a while at that magnitude, and came back and it's like, okay, it's time to get back in the groove. And that triggered a little something with me. I was like, get back in the groove. And I was like, I'm not getting back in the groove. Because sometimes the groove is a rut. Ooh, yeah. Thought process there, right? Interesting thought process. We're always trying to get back to something, get back to when, get back to our fighting weight, get back to our time when we were healthy, get back to the time where we could go out and party all night and stay up and still go to work, when you were 20 years old and you knew it was just because you were 20 and you could do it. And, we don't really want to get back to that stuff, right? But then there's some other grooves in life, think about it, that you may have grooved in some habits. Okay, this is a groove that's a habit rather than a rut. And you've got some great habits. You get up every day, you do your celery juice, you do your lemon water, you do some yoga, you do a workout, whatever it is. Go for a run, meditate, pray. And you've got that grooved in and you're in a groove there. That ain't a rut, ladies and gentlemen. That's not what I'm talking about. So you're going, all right, as usual, coach, you're going, Good guy, bad guy. Devil on one shoulder, God on the angel on the other. Good cop, bad cop. You know, what is it? Is having a routine, being stuck in a rut? You tell me. And you're like, no, I'm here for you to tell me. I want you to tell me, Coach. Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. Can you handle the truth this morning? All right, so here is the truth about it. If your groove has become so deep that it's a rut that it prevents you from getting off like the vinyl on the turntable where you're just going in circles in life, that could be a problem. That could be a rut. That could be holding you back. What if your groove is a path that you've dug in and it's something that you stay on because you've got a goal and you're going after it and nothing's going to stop you? That's not a rut. How do you tell the difference? I don't know. How do you feel right now? Do you ever feel, have you ever felt, or you're currently feeling like, not sure what I should do, or man, I really think I thought I'd be further ahead in my life right now than I am. Or, I never saw losing my job at 60 years old as a possibility, or losing my retirement, or my business getting shut down during COVID and losing everything I had, and I'm at XYZ age. I don't know what age you are right now, but at any age, the past few years have been a little bit challenging. Okay, to say the least, to ignore it and say, oh, nothing bad happened, nothing bad is happening in the world, and stick your head in the sand would be foolish. But to focus on, like we talked a few weeks ago about OPD, other people's drama, to focus on that and all the bad and every beep and newscast and this, that, and the other, is going to take you away from your good groove, and it's going to put you in a rut. Okay, so what is the real difference? How do you break through this stuff? I know it all sounds good and you're like, hey, must be nice, Coach, you got this all down. Let me tell you something. I am a human being the same as you. What I've done is develop some ways to break out of the ruts, to be innovative. Okay, I'm going to reverse back pre-COVID. A few years ago, I did Business Mastery with Tony Robbins. Jen and I were at Unleash the Power weekend in West Palm Beach, and they were introducing Business Mastery, and she looks over at me and she goes, yeah, you got to do it. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And thank God we did. Why? Did it teach me how to do a new business? Well, yeah, we've got some other things in the works, like the website and the Heels course and stuff. Did it teach me how to get that rolling? Yes. But the biggest thing was when COVID hit, bam, and they're like, no more than 10 people in a room. Hey, we have an auction business, guys. That you don't thrive on 10 people in a room. You thrive on hundreds of people in a room. And it was like, we have a problem. It's Thursday night. We have another auction on Saturday. We have a problem, because there's always going to be somebody who's going to, so-and-so got more people than they should in the room. The OPD, somebody's always going to bring other people's drama to your doorstep. Okay? And that was something we didn't really want to deal with at that point. We had enough to deal with going, how are we going to pull this off? Well, between Thursday and Saturday, with very little sleep, we set up a platform, innovated, okay, and this isn't only about business. If you're going, well, he's talking about business right now, and I'm not in business, I'm gonna, go have my coffee or go to the bathroom. Don't leave, because this goes across all lines. We innovated and turned it into a live like this, live yet virtual like this. You're not sitting here in the studio with me, but you are. You can talk to me on the messaging. By the way, on the note on messaging, guys, there's many different venues that we transmit to. So if I don't answer your questions right away, that might be one that's not right on my board. If you're on our website at accelerate-life.com, I will see your messages. So I prefer you watch it there, just as a side note. But we innovated to still have that live connection, that community feel to what we are doing, frickin' overnight, over 2 nights. felt like overnight because, by the time it was time to go live on Saturday night, I'm like, give me the toothpicks from my eyes. Can't see straight. But we did it. We innovated. So that's breaking out of a groove. So many years we had done the same thing. People come in, they previewed, they sat down, we auctioned stuff off, they took their stuff, they went home. Without going into the intricacies of the business, it was actually a blessing as people were going, wow, I can be home with my children and still attend the auction. Because kids only think I'm cool for a few minutes. The fast talking dude is cool and they're like, and I love it. And I love seeing them light up. And then they're like, I want to go home. I want to play with my toys. I'm bored. Can you blame them? They're kids. That's what they're supposed to do. They're going to want to play. They're not going to want to sit there and listen to me for 4 or 5 hours, right? So that was a blessing. And one of our really great customers, who's just always been an amazing friend and customer, he says, Lou, I couldn't bring my office and set it up in your auction house, but I certainly can have you on one screen and have my proposals on the other and continue doing my business while I am attending your auction. This is great. So in the long run, and then we all looked at each other and said, we're not going back. Why didn't we do this sooner? Well, sometimes you need that push. And you know what? It's a lot easier if you give yourself that push than if God, or however you call your creator or whatever, gives you that push. Sometimes you got to get that push to make the change, to get out of the rut, the groove, okay? So not all grooves are bad, not all grooves are good. Get your groove on, Emperor's New Groove, or however, Emperor's New Groove was a pretty cool movie. I don't know if if you got kids, you probably saw that. It was kind of a transformational journey. And that's what I'm encouraging you to take, is look at your life. Go up to that 50,000 square foot view, like you're looking down on your life from an airplane, and go, where am I on a turntable of a rut? Where do I do the same thing over and over again and am not fulfilled, am not succeeding, whether it be in your business, your relationships, anything else? Where is it that being in the groove is keeping you stuck? And where is it that you have gotten in the groove? Hey, I get up every day. I do something to get physically fit. I've changed my eating habits and I've really gotten into this. And now, you know what? I don't do celery juice every single morning, but I do celery juice most mornings. And compared to a year ago, I did celery juice very few mornings. And health-wise, it's better. I've found Life Boost coffee. Holy moly. This is recent. There it is. Okay, and I'm going to stick a link to that on all the places where we're broadcasting. Now, understand, nobody's going to try to recruit you to sell it. It's not some kind of multi-level thing or that. But I want to tell you about Life Boost really quick. Not too long ago, just a few months ago, I came across it and I'm like, I'm really happy with the coffee that we drank. I liked it. It was a good, clean coffee, this, that, and the other. And by a good, reputable brand. We still use their MCT oil and love it in some of their other products. And I was like, this Life Boost has got me. It was a doctor that founded, he was like, he had a profound love for coffee and what it does for you, and wanted to go, okay, but I hate all the toxins and the chemicals and all the garbage in it, and really single source some amazing coffee. So I'm like, what do I got to lose? It's really no different than, if I go to Whole Foods and spend the same money or order the other coffee online. Let me just try this. Something clicked in my head. It was like one of those moments of, do it, Lou, do it. So I had nothing to lose. But if I didn't like it, I threw a couple bags of coffee away. If I liked it and it was decent, it's coffee. If I loved it, I might make a switch because I like the quality. Well, holy crap, the first sip had me done. I'm a coffee nut. Anybody will tell you that. I don't drink it all day long because I'd never sleep, but I'm a coffee snob, I'll admit it. So I put the links in there for you guys. Order it. I am an affiliate. I do get a tiny little commission. And again, it's not some multi-level company or any stuff like that. It's just simply, I do get, if you order through my links, which help support the show, please do. My point being is it's super good for you. It's clean, and I got into a new groove, and I look forward to it in the morning because I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to have my coffee, and I enjoy it, and it's really good for you. So that's one of those grooves. I use that as an example where, maybe your groove doesn't need to be totally changed. Maybe your groove needs to be adjusted. What if you get up early in the morning and maybe you go to work, maybe you don't have your own business, maybe you do. Regardless, a lot of times you have to be somewhere at a certain time, right? Agreed. Or maybe you're a stay-at-home parent, but you got to get the kids to school. Okay, there's some non-negotiables, or technically negotiables, but you really should stick to your times. So say you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and you got a routine to get the kids off to school and then get off to work. But you always kind of feel stressed and you're kind of barking at the kids and it's like, come on, let's go. And then you get on the freeway and you're late and all that. And you're in the groove and you get there and you get to work and you're like, oh God, I just made it. Clock in 1 minute till. And then you're like, all right, I can breathe for a second. Does that really set your day up to win? And you're like, hey, you were a minute early for work. The kids got to school on time. Everything worked. Did it really set you up to win? Or do you feel like you need the second cup of coffee already? Or do you feel like you'd really rather go home and go back to bed? What if you got up at 5:45? What if the night before you set out all the dishes for breakfast, you had all the lunches packed, you had your clothes set out for that day, and then you just got up 15 minutes earlier? 15 less minutes of sleep is not going to make a difference, ladies and gentlemen. But what if you did that and you took that first 15 minutes to do something for you? Yoga, stretch, do a little fast workout, bounce on the rebounder, have a cup of coffee out on the porch by yourself and get your thoughts together. Maybe write down your 3 top goals for the day and a couple of actions that are going to work with those. What if you did that instead of getting up with the alarm at 6 and hitting it to 10 after with the snooze button? Then you're really groggy. What if you developed a new groove that didn't take that much more time? It's not revamping your entire life, but you got in this new groove of 15 minutes earlier, taking 10 or 15 minutes at night to get everything set out. How different would you treat your children? If you got children, I'm using this as an example. How different would your drive-in be if you put something fun on the radio with the kids, something that was cool and everybody enjoyed it. But then once you drop the kids off, you put on something like you went to Spotify and tuned in to Breakthrough with Lew for some episodes you've missed. And you motivated yourself and you walked into work 5 minutes early and had time to settle in and organize your desk or look and see, what clients you have for that day, whatever the case was. And then said, wow, I used to be running through the parking lot at this moment and had a little appreciation for it. Well, how different would your day be? How different? See, again, it's not about getting into a groove of getting by. It's not about just doing it because it's the way you've always done it. Or worse yet, that's the way mom and dad used to do it, or grandma. Okay? Well, let me tell you something. If you're of any age, other than 5 to 10 years old, chances are your parents had a very different world they were raised in. Chances are your grandparents had a very, very different world. Or Uncle Joe, or Aunt Selena, whoever. Why would you do the same things they did just because, well, that's the way we've always done it? Either it works and it serves you. Hear me loud and clear, ladies and gentlemen. Either it works and serves you, or it fights against you. There is no just going through the day. Either you're moving forward or you're going backwards. What do you think? Do you really think in anything you do that if you just stay in one spot, do the same thing you've always done, that you're going to expect any change? Now, you might be in a really good groove. Maybe you've already set some of these really good habits. See, a good groove we can use synonymously with habits. Good habits. A bad groove would be a negative habit, something that's taking away from you. But if you get on a good groove, but a good groove is a straight path with a couple bumps and bruises. as opposed to the rut, which would be the vinyl album. Now, we all love vinyl. I mean, whether you're a young kid right now and you're just discovering the re-emergence of vinyl, or whether you grew up with it or you somewhere in between, that's cool, because you know what? You can put that record on and you know you're going to hear the same version of that song every single time, unless you scratch your record. But don't you like something new once in a while? You know, that's why they invented the iPod and then the Apple iPhone and all the great music things like Spotify now. Because in your pocket, you don't have a cassette tape that plays the same 6 songs. Okay? You've broken out of that. Now you have choice. And that's what is created by getting into a new groove and breaking out of your old rut. You have choices. I've heard it put so eloquently. If you have one option, you have no choice. If you have 2 options, you have a dilemma. You don't have choice. You have a dilemma, this or this. That's it. Once you have 3 or more choices of options that go with in any given situation, now you have freedom. Now you truly have choice. Makes sense, right? So what do you want to do? Do you want to be in a rut, or do you want to be in the groove, baby, where you're just flying down the highway of life and just going through? Did you ever have one of those days where you get on, like in our town, it's I-4, and thank God for the express lanes now, where you just get on and go. Nobody cuts you off. Nobody does the 3-lane pull in front of you. There's no idiot that caused an accident. You just flow, and you got something you're listening to on the radio, or you know you're piping through your stereo system, and you're just in the flow. That's when you get in that groove, that forward groove. Did you ever have one of those days where you get up, you didn't realize what day it was, you're up late, you spilled the coffee, you dropped the plate full of food, the outfit you wanted to wear is still in the dryer and you forgot it's been there for 3 days and it stinks and there's no way in hell you're going to wear it today. You get out, the car doesn't start, you got to jump the car, you get on the highway and the traffic's just absolutely backed up to the entrance ramp. Do you see the difference in what you have? Being in the groove you want to be in, that forward groove, you're coasting, you're flying, not coasting, you're flying through life. The other one, you're stuck with the same old. Now again, don't take this as though that certain habits are the same old. If they're propelling you forward, that's not a bad habit. That's a great habit. That's a being in the groove, baby. But if you're just going with the same thing every day, you go to the job every day and you hate it. Every time you walk in the door, your soul sinks through your feet. Don't you think it's time to break that groove? If your marriage is just the same old, and you're like just getting through it, don't change the marriage right away. Change what you bring to it first. Change the groove that you're in. And, oftentimes that marriage that you're ready to dump out of comes right back and it's even better than ever. But not if you do the same thing every day. If you wake up and expect, she's going to be a B and he's going to be an A all day long, and you're sick of those stupid little habits of each other, and that's what you focus on rather than what you did when you first met and you were all in love. What are you going to get? Which groove you want to be in? You want to be in that groove where you go forward and go, hey, let's work on this relationship. Let's make it something great again. Or do you want to be stuck in the rotating rut of same old? Oh God, he's going to come home and open up a beer and fall asleep in front of the TV and sit there and fart, and and he's let himself go, and and she never makes herself pretty anymore, and you hear it all. It's like the OPD thing. You might be in a great marriage and your friend is going through troubles, and next thing you know, you're questioning your own marriage because you're talking to your friend. And OPD is other people's drama. If you didn't catch that episode, go back and watch it. Go on the site Accelerate Life. It's XLR, the number 8life.com, and get on our breakthrough blog. It is a membership blog, but it's free. I want to keep scammers and spammers off of there, so you do have to register for it, but it's free. You don't have to pay for it. So that's why I want you to buy Life Boost coffee and stuff like that, guys, so I can continue to keep stuff like that free, because the production costs on this is not free. So we definitely, I want to be able to keep delivering to you. So are you getting value this morning? Are you getting some value from understanding the difference of a circular rut as opposed to a forward high-paced groove? And last week I did the show, and it was crazy because I did the show and I was beaming afterwards. I'm like, that's the best effing show I've ever done. Oh my God, it's amazing. And I look back and everybody's like, no audio, no audio. And I'm like, I did the sound check. Well, I did the sound check with the pre-log. Problem is my mic, the little lavalier piece, wasn't plugged fully into my transmitter. So it showed I had signal. Okay, the same old groove. I looked real quick and it showed that mic was hot. And what a great example. And went along and did it and lost one of the best shows in the world because I was so in my groove. I looked, I saw in the audio that mic was hot, never paying attention to my output, which was showing output, but it wasn't showing when I go, hey, my output goes up. When I get quiet, my output goes down. So, that's one of those things that we can... Thank you, Jimmy. You're awesome, buddy. Good morning, by the way. I do see your chat. Good morning, brother. That's one of those things that was like, I was so in my groove that I didn't pay attention. And I think that's really the message I'm supposed to bring to you. Maybe that's why last week's show was phenomenal as it was, and I don't script these. I might have some notes, but I don't script them, so it's not like I can go back and read you last week's show. But I think the thing is to pay attention to what you're getting, your outcome. What I was paying attention to was getting up and doing the show. Okay. Doing the show. It was a phenomenal show. Wish I could bring it back to life for you. But I was doing, you see the motion here, doing the show, as opposed to bringing you progressive things you can use, and especially at a time you can use it. Now, I may not have chosen the smartest week in the world to switch it to 7 a.m. because it's a holiday and the one day you guys get to sleep in. See, because a lot of folks have been saying to me, hey, I want to catch the show, but I'm missing it because I'm at work already at 8. Or I'm right in the process of dropping the kids off to school. Or, I got the kids in the car and, sometimes you cover some stuff that, I don't necessarily want the kids hearing and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I get you. 7 o'clock's great. I'll get up and I'll have some of my Life Boost coffee a little bit earlier. You remember when Breakthrough with Lew started? It was Monday Motivation, and it was the drive-in when we lived further away. And I would do it at like 5:30 in the morning on the way in. That's where the show started. And I got in a groove. And there were people that were up and listening. And then I was like, the whole demographic of everything changed. And I was like, okay, most people are working from home. Most people are no longer up at that hour. We're not up at that hour at 4 o'clock in the morning so we could teach boot camp because there was no boot camp. And I was like, all right, 8 a.m. That fits my groove then. And it fit. But then we're all back to work. Thank God the whole C-19, the C word, kind of wasn't what it was supposed to be, which is great. I'm glad half the world's not dead. Yeah, it's a beast and it's a nasty ass virus, but we overreacted in some ways and underreacted in others. Whatever. Everybody's got their own view on that, but it changed. People didn't need to be up and driving to work. More people were home. More people were working from home. And God bless you if you were still working, period, and didn't just go, oh, I'm just going to take a free ride. Okay. We kept this, those of us that kept working, kept this thing going, kept this whole thing going. But guess what? We've shifted gears. Now we're back to semi-normal. We have other issues we're all dealing with and stuff, but in an economic situation, but that's a whole story for a different day. We've shifted gears. we're not kind of getting up at 8 o'clock and, you're not getting up and going, let me click on, Breakthrough with Lew while I'm having coffee. Now you're back, you're already in the office at 8 o'clock. You're already in your business. You're already dealing with your first client. Or if you're a mowing service, you're mowing somebody's lawn by 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever. So we shifted gears and said, boom, we go to 7 o'clock to better serve the people we love and care about. And that's you guys. So apply this in your life. That's just an example. Again, it's not, ooh, look what we're doing for you. It's an example of going, the old groove was fine. 8 o'clock was great for a while. Now it's not fine. Just because we did it that way and it worked, now it didn't work so well. It doesn't work so well for you. Maybe it does. Maybe you're going, oh, now I got to get up earlier because maybe you have a different schedule. But for the most part, it works better. So we shift gears and we adjust and we get on the fast track so that I'm excited and I see that I'm reaching more people than if we waited till 8 o'clock. Would I prefer to wait one more hour as far as not having to, I still didn't use the alarm to get up this morning, but I could have. I had it set just in case. But the point being here is it's a different groove, it's a new groove, and it's a groove that's taking us in the direction we want to go right now. And what areas in your life do you have where you're stuck in that circular rut? Ask yourself. Send me some comments on this. You don't have to get too personal, but tell me some areas in your life that you're stuck in a rut. Where do you feel held back by doing the same thing you've always done? Being in the groove rut. What are some areas that if you broke out of the groove and went forward and created a new path, a new groove, by next month, next year, next week, whatever, how different would life look? If you broke out of one groove today, we finished the show, if you're watching live, or if you're listening to the replay, or you're listening on Spotify, or Apple iTunes, or Google Play, whatever, we're all over the place. What is one groove you need to break today? Write it down. If you're driving, pull your butt over. Take 2 minutes for yourself today. Right now, pull over. Okay, if you're making breakfast for the kids, turn the eggs down a second and write down what is one negative groove that you are stuck in right now, and what is a new habit you could replace that with right now, today, that would start you in a whole new direction of where you need to be. Guys, the stuff that worked during COVID doesn't work now. Some of it does. The stuff that worked pre-COVID, the pre-COVID thing, and you can tell I'm not thrilled about it, the way everything was handled, but everybody's got their own opinion on that, might not work either. Some of the habits you got into over the past couple of years, not bathing for 2 or 3 days, not going to the office, not shaving, having a shirt on and just your underwear in a Zoom meeting. You can't go into work and go to a real meeting like that. So what are some of the things those habits that you developed that no longer serve you again? We had to realign our habits 2 years ago or 2+ years ago, but we got to realign them again. It's time. Our economics are in trouble. So what kind of habits do you need? A lot of people are going, I can't afford, cut back, cut back, cut back. What does cut back do? Think about it. Cut back. Don't go out to eat. That paralyzes your local economy, makes the economy worse. Okay? I'm not saying go be wasteful. I'm saying there are certain things, that, stay out of the bar on Friday night. Don't spend your whole paycheck at the bar on Friday night. That's wasteful. To have a meal with your spouse or with your family that's decent and maybe it costs a little more. It was funny, I was listening to one of my old shows. I listened to them because there's some good ideas in there. I was listening to some of my old shows yesterday, and I remember seeing somebody talking about somebody posting at their restaurant that they're surcharging every meal 50 cents because of labor shortages and costs and da-da-da. And I thought to myself, and you probably remember the show if you've been with me for a while. And I thought, I don't want to look at that. I'm here for an experience. It's like, just change your menu, up your prices. I mean, I understand. If I got to pay 50 cents or a dollar, I'd rather pay $1 more for my meal and not see that stupid fucking tent card on the table spreading misery. Just change your menu and up, change prices. Nobody's gonna notice. If when you go out with your family and 50 cents or $1 on each meal makes the difference of if you can afford that, you don't need to be going out for that meal in the first place. Can you cook it at home a lot cheaper? Heck yeah. It's the experience. But would you rather pay $1 more than look at somebody charging you 50 cents more and spreading all this misery? I was like, how dumb of a track is that? Now, how stupid is that to have your customers come in when they're supposed to be enjoying themselves and you're shoving it in their face that there's economic problems, that there's problems. Right in the place where you're supposed to be experiencing and you're paying for an experience, a good experience. You want to go to a restaurant and pay for a bad experience. So equate this into your life. Instead of going, we can't do this anymore because gas is 50 cents more a gallon. Unless you're going through hundreds of gallons a week, that's only a few bucks. What if you use 10 gallons of gas a week? And I'm not defending what's going on with the gas prices, trust me. But what if you use 10 gallons a week and gas goes up 50 cents? Do the math. That's $5 a week. Is that going to stop you from going to work? Is it going to cripple your entire family economy? If it does, you better get your ass in gear and step up and start making some more. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm not defending some of the economic issues right now by any means or condoning it, but you're not going to change it. You're not going to pull up to the gas station and go, hey, I'm having tough times. Can you give me 5 cents a gallon off or 50 cents a gallon? No, they're not doing it. They're going to tell you, you pay what's on the pump or you don't get gas. So how do you combat that? You break out of the rut of how can I save, how can I not, and go, how can I produce more to make up for this? And you're going, you may feel like, hey, damn it, coach, this is falling back on me again. The hardworking American people. Yeah, well, it always does. You want to take a free ride, you know how to do it. Those people know how to do it. The people that play the system. And I'm not talking about somebody who's got an honest need, a disability, loses a spouse and has a bunch of kids and trying to get their lives back together. That's what government programs are for. Okay? Not for somebody to turn 18 and go, how can I start having kids to get a check? Or, how do I skirt the system? No, it's not what I'm talking about. But yes, right now, instead of feeling like we're in a groove of how we can shrink down, how can you grow past and even more successful by allowing this economy that we're in as such to push you to go, I got to do better to maintain the lifestyle that I like. But if I can do better to just maintain, can I do better to grow? Think about it. Could you do better to grow? You might go, well, no, my boss cut overtime. Well, okay, so you don't work 48 hours anymore, you work 40. And it took a little while. Now you got 8 hours more in the week. Do something self-directive. Start a little eBay business. Come to our auctions and buy stuff and resell. There's always options. Teach. If you've had some experience and you're great in the field you're in and you're going, I'm great in the field I'm in, but my boss cut me back to 40 hours because the company can't afford it. Okay, you're great at what you do. Aren't there other people that are maybe starting out in what you do and you could teach them? Like this? See? We are in the time. And it blows my mind because if you talk to some of the younger people, we've got some absolutely amazing young people that have entered our team. And just, but life is so hard, a lot of them. It's so hard. Are you serious? How hard is it? What do you got here? it's a computer. Wait, no, it's a camera. No, it's a video studio. Wait, no, it's a dictionary. Wait, no, it's a bank. Wait, no, it's GPS. Wait, no, it's actually a phone. And you can text, and you can keep track of appointments. It's a calendar. It's a planning book. It's entertainment. It's your music list. You can educate yourself on this. Life's so hard. Try a dial-up telephone, guys. If you want to talk to your friend. And if they're not there to pick it up sitting in their house, you don't talk to them. How about knocking on doors to make sales calls because there wasn't email? How hard is it, guys? What about a time when I would have had to go out and get with the local radio station and go sit in the studio at the local radio station to have a show, and that's if they could pick you up. Now you create your own station. Now you have all of this available, yet young and old alike are going, oh, life is so hard right now. Life is so hard. For God's sakes, your car tells you not to bump into something. It has collision sensors. We have backup cameras. We used to have a mirror. Okay, and I'm not an old man. It's not that long ago cars didn't have all these cool toys. You know, crash avoidance, shit, we got cars that drive themselves. That one I'm not ready for. Of course, it would be kind of nice. You know, I could be doing other stuff, but I like control a little more than that. Life is hard. Is that maybe a groove that you've gotten into, that life is so hard right now? Instead of going, I've got more in my pocket than NASA sent people to the moon with technology in my pocket. And you want to tell me life is so hard these days? Okay? I'm not telling you it's easy. I'm not telling you you don't have challenges. I'm not telling you stuff doesn't come up. I'm not telling you the economy doesn't suck. Okay? I'm not going kumbaya, let's hold hands and own nothing and have the master plan by 2035 where we all live in harmony and da-da-da-da. No, that's a socialistic nightmare of stuff like that. It's not happening. You don't want it. You want to be challenged. You want to grow. But we have more tools available to us for growth and to break out of the ruts than ever in history. Yet we have people walking around going, life is so hard. I can't progress. I can't go forward. I can't. When we have so much more at our fingertips. I think that's why last week's show dumped on me, because it wasn't this. And I loved it, and I wish I could recover it, because I'd love to be able to, because it flowed. But today was really, the message is, please stop getting on the groove of how hard it is, and please let's look as to what gifts we have to go forward, what tools we have access to, the ability to network, the ability to go forward. Now, the one thing that I would really like to ask you is to not forget that this is not the only way to communicate. You know, being in a bubble, being on a screen. People need in person. People need. So don't think that I'm saying, you know, oh, just go to this digital world, lock yourself in a little closet and talk on the computer, and that's really life. No, it's just a tool that we have where I can reach you if you're in Chicago, Mexico City, Cuba, if the communists allow you to actually see me. But I also like to, on Sunday mornings when we go to breakfast, love to interact with our servers and our people there at the restaurant in real time. I don't want to go in and grab a bag of food and go sit and, you know, come back home and that's our experience. No, the experience of going to a restaurant is to interact with the people in that, or else you may as well make your food at home. Okay? Which we do most mornings. Most mornings breakfast gets popped in, you know, right here. But don't forget that human touch. Don't forget it's okay to still hug people. It's okay to shake hands. Please don't forget to wash your hands. I mean, pre or post or during COVID or any other season or anything like that, cleanliness goes a long way. However, freakishly sanitizing drops your immune system. I'm going to give you a little health note and then we're going to cut it. One of the doctors that I follow did some research on immunity, and kids that were in almost sterile environments got deathly ill when they got around other kids, where kids that play in the mud and do what kids are supposed to do get sick way less when they're exposed to other children. What does that tell you? So be a human, get muddy, get dirty, come to a mud race with me if you like, because it's racing season. But use common sense. In everything you do, use some common sense. When you speak, you have a right to your opinion, whether it matches mine or my next door neighbors or whoever's, whether they like it or not, whether you agree with me or not, you have a right to speak too, and I defend that. But please defend my right to speak the same way. And it doesn't give you a license to go be nasty and horrible. Think before you speak. You know, most people have a valid point, even on both sides, opposite spectrums. They might have some valid points, but it's the way you point it out. Point it out. See, people don't like that. You're wrong. Hey, would you come in and see it my way just for a second? Do you see the difference? You might say, well, I still don't agree with you, but I understand where you're coming from. That in itself is curative. That breaks the rut of you're wrong and I'm right. You're wrong and I'm right. You know what? I know I'm right, and it's okay to believe you're right and know you're right, but I also understand where you're coming from. We can, there's a midpoint, we can make this work. Big difference in everything you do. So my point to the day is, what groove are you in? Are you stuck in a rut, or are you in a forward groove, baby? Where you at? Tell the truth. Do the exercise. Watch this again. Listen to this again. Do that exercise time and time again. You know, when you conquer breaking out of a rut and setting a new amazing groovy habit. Groovy, that sounds like something out of the 60s. Yeah, but think about it. You set that new habit in place of it, and then you go, hey, that's working. Well, what's next? You don't just go, I did it one time and my life is all different. You know, sometimes that one distinction totally shifts your life. But you gotta go, what's next? You gotta keep moving. You gotta keep grooving. Moving and grooving. That's the title. That's the theme of the day today. Let's get moving and grooving. And when you're going in a circle of a rut, you ain't moving and grooving. You're doing the same crap over and over again. Let's get moving and grooving forward. And you know what? If you screw up, what do? You figure out a different approach. And if you screw up again, what do? You go, what can I learn here? And now what can I really change? Because obviously I took a similar approach to the one that didn't work. When do you quit? When do you give up? When you're dead, okay? Till you're not breathing anymore, you never give up. You just keep trying different grooves. And when you get in the right one, you install it, you keep it, you adjust it. Things are going to change. You're going to grow. Your groove might not serve you forever. You can't fall in love with one groove and go, well, that helped me for a while, but now stuff has changed. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe there's certain grooves you stay in. Getting up and doing celery juice every morning, or almost every morning, works for me. Works for many people. So why would I change that? Okay? So that's a good groove. Getting up and going, I wonder what's going to happen today, or who's not going to show up today, or, you know, what's going to go wrong, which vehicle's not going to start. What do you expect you're going to get in that day? You're looking for it. What's going to be my next problem? What's going to be my next challenge? Instead of going, you know what, it's a brand new day and let's go with the new groove, and if something comes up, we deal with it and jump back in the groove lane. Don't get on the turntable. Turntables are good for one thing. That's playing the same old song that you love to hear once in a while and make it one that makes you feel good and wants to get you going forward. Don't feed your mind with stuff that's going to derail you. Don't feed your mind with stuff that's going to put fear in your life. Go forward. We all know there's challenges to face. I'm not giving you the Pollyanna pie in the sky kumbaya. There's going to be stuff that's going to come up each and every day. So get up, have your cup of coffee, have your Life Boost coffee. Links are in the panels, guys. Get this stuff. Try it, and it could be a whole new groove for you. And you might not like it. If you don't like it, what? You tried something, you don't like it. Try another brand. I'll give you another recommendation. There's other coffees that I like. I just happen to love that one. And I want to bring to you the best of the best. Why not, right? Why not have the best? If you can have the best, why shouldn't you? Some people say, well, that's greedy. There's people that are in need. Well, if you can have the best and multitudes of success, could you not help people in need? Learn to do the same thing. Come over here. Give this world, there it is. Give it a hug. Do something good. Do something randomly good today, too. I don't care what it is. Give a banana and a bottle of water to a homeless person. Don't give them money. They'll only go do more drugs. Okay? We all know that. And some people go, well, you don't know their situation. Maybe whatever they do, but I contributed. Okay, that's like, your kid not doing good in school and you contribute by going, well, don't worry about doing your homework. No, help them with their homework. Don't do their homework for them and don't allow them to not do it. But that's the same thing with the homeless person on the corner. You give them money and they go buy more booze or drugs. You're not helping them. You give them a meal if you want to help them. That's the way to do it. You give them a shirt, a pair of clean socks. That's a way to help somebody. Do something good today that helps somebody, that motivates somebody else, and see how good that feels. All right, I think I have been on maybe a little bit longer than I intended this morning, a lot longer, but it's Labor Day. I know that you're probably not rushing off to work. I know a lot of you are working today. I realize this is not like a major holiday like Christmas, etc. So go do your day in your new groove. Figure out, again, what's your assignment? If you haven't already done it, pick one of those ruts you're in, break out of it, and give yourself a new habit or a new groove. Guys, live with faith, energy, passion, always live your dreams. Go over to XLR, the number 8, life.com. Check out our courses, check out our Breakthrough blog. If you've missed any episodes, get on there. Breakthrough blog is free. Heals, our healthy eating and lifestyle course, is not free, but you'll understand it's worth about 10 times what we charge for it, because that's a basis. Your health, your H1 is the basis for everything. I don't know what else to tell you this morning except for go out there, go get it. Live with faith, energy, passion, always live your dreams. This is Coach Lew getting ready to sign off. Have an absolutely amazing day, guys. Lots of love.
Ready to take it to the next level? Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lew himself. As Coach Lew always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dreams.